Hello and welcome to episode 77 of the Pop Collectors Alliance, Talkin That Smish, volume 3.0, the final volume in this series. We are here tonight on Thursday evening, joined by my co-bearded co-host, Captain Strongbeard, Mr. Piper. Early, I would say, kind of middle range recording tonight. How are we doing this evening?
I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for surgery tomorrow, and I'm drinking a peach water, so it's good. It's a good time.
A peach water.
Peach water. It's you get like a can of like Clear American is what it is called. It's peach sparkling flavored water beverage. That's too many words to describe what it is.
That's the perfect thing to drink before the night of a surgery, I guess.
Before I fast, technically it's water, so I think that's good. There's no sugar in it, so I mean, my wife told me, she's like, you gotta drink a lot of water tonight so they can steal your blood from your veins. And I was like, okay.
Well, we wish you a speedy recovery and a successful procedure tomorrow to take care of what you need to be taken care of.
They're gonna steal the rocks from my body.
The rocks from your kidneys?
Yeah, I guess they shouldn't be there. I don't know. My body made them, and I just kept them.
It's like, what do we need, body? A lot of more rocks. We just need rocks.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
We need rocks for the quarries. It's like the Rick and Morty episode, Pirates of the Pancreas.
Yeah.
Rocks of the kidneys. The rock climbing wall of the kidneys. There you go.
Oh, God. No, I don't even want to think about it.
People won't get that reference if they haven't seen Rick and Morty. If you haven't, please do so because it is a good show. But yes, Piper, we wish you the best tomorrow. And in lieu of all of that, we have an episode that's coming out tonight. So that's another plus. A lot of things that have happened since last episode. We wanted to close out Talking That Smish because I want to tie into things. And we have some special announcements on the end of this for future and upcoming episodes. But let's get right into Talking That Smish. So when last we left, we had this long talk about value and everything crazy that's happened since this pandemic has come across us, people selling things, prices just increasing. And to that point, they still are continuing to increase. Attack on Titan Pops. If you have them, hoard them or sell them, get rid of them now. There was a 1,500% price increase across the board. If you have the Aaron Yeager, I think that's his last name. I really don't know. Nailed it. If you have him, the bait version, that is hot and on fire. Also, the Titan, the Armored Titan 6-inch pop, on fire right now. Both of those are trending towards $200. Dirk Nowitzki, the NBA pop. I was just at Scott's house. Shout out to Scott on the podcast. And he was showing me an awesome out of the box collection. Dirk Nowitzki was both him and Ryan. Shout out to Ryan on the podcast. Their first pop, I think, and the pop that they bonded over. I know for a fact that it's Scott's first pop. Paid like $5 for this pop.
Oh my God.
And the thing is worth what? It was like selling for $850.
So you want to know something amazing?
Let's hear it.
Brandon, our video boy, he helps us whenever we do any kind of YouTube stuff. So he is a ginormical Mavericks fan. We both know this. All right. He has a Dirk pop that is signed, that is sitting in a glass terrarium, being protected. And I wonder, I'm just curious. So if it's $850 for just the pop, I wonder what it is if you tack on a signature.
For players, if it's authenticated, it's really, I mean,
you
could say anything.
You know it's authentic.
Right? I know it's authentic, but the thing is people want to see it authenticated. And we have Beckett here in the DFW area. So he has pictures, so it wouldn't take him anything to have it authenticated. I'm just saying, once you have that official sticker, you're exactly right, Piper. It could be worth $1,500, $2,000. My question is this, and I'm going to ask you, Piper, and ask the larger audience. If you haven't followed us on social media, you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Pop Alliance Pod, Facebook.com/Pop Collectors Alliance. What is the price in dollar amount for you to get rid of your number one favorite pop? Because even Piper, in your case, and I'm not saying Freddie Funko Sting is one of your favorites, But even him, he's like $300 now.
Yeah.
The prices are going insane. So what is the dollar value? First, state your favorite pop, and then say what is the dollar value that it would take for you to get rid of it.
So it's like a 3-way tie. So it's my 7-Eleven and Rey Mysterio, Freddy Funko as Sting, or my demonic Tyrael from Heroes of the Storm. Those are like my 3 like hands down favorite.
Heroes of the Storm.
So I think it would be a lot easier for me to get rid of the Rey, the 7-Eleven Rey. I would do like double whatever PPG is. Like I would be comfortable with that. So like $600. Right? I think that's what it would be if I was going by that rule. Now the other two, man, they're both LE pieces. I think the Freddy Sting is a lot more limited. So just like that's always in my brain. So if I have something and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get rid of this. But if I know that there's a limited quantity, I know it's going to be really hard if for some reason I wake up one day and be like, oh man, I'm going to go back and buy that because I really want it in my collection. I know that's a bigger hurdle. And then by that time, who knows, they could be worth like triple. That's the other thing that my brain does not like. It's that fear of like, oh, what if this shoots up in value? And if I did decide I want to sell it, I could make even more. My brain is just like, it's a constant battle. So I don't know that I could get rid of those two. I really don't. I know for sure. I think the Freddy Sting would be very difficult for me to get rid of. I don't know a dollar amount for the demonic Tyrael. I don't even know what it's worth, honestly.
But yeah, and I understand there's always going to be items that you're just not going to get rid of. And that's an appropriate answer too. If you're not going to spend anything, I mean, you're not going to relinquish it for any dollar amount. And I agree. Like for Benson, in my case, I'm not going to get rid of Benson for any dollar amount. I do have bad luck though. I don't know if anyone else out there has that luck that I do. It's called the luck of if I get something and I hold on to it, it goes down in value. But if I sell it, it goes up in value. Because I sold the Mandalorian from New York Comic Con at like $300 or $350 or something like that. And it's like $600-700. This always happens to me. It's always like, oh, wait till you sell it.
It's the same thing.
Price goes up.
That's the same thing. I mean, I sold mine too. I was able to pick one up when we were at New York Comic Con. I sold mine and I made $500 on mine. But now it's even more. And I'm like, oh no, what did I do?
And you want to capitalize on those values as collectors, because what does that do? Especially in Piper, your case, you're going for Freddy. So every dollar that you can get more from an item that you don't necessarily want to collect is $1 in your pocket to pay for Freddy's or kidney stone surgery, whatever you want to, call it.
I need a new computer. So because every time I touch it, it shuts off. So it makes it difficult for us to record a podcast. So no, I absolutely agree. Oh, I looked it up. Also, the demonic Tyrael, it's only $80. So, but I still couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's something that's important to you. And then also one of the other trends tying all this together and values increasing and just stupidity. I'm gonna say something negative. It's not any one person in general. It's just stupid in the process. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Now auctions, we would go on an auction and we'd take a 30% hit on any single item. Not complaining. Our auctions benefit our patrons for the most part, and I'm happy for that. But now I'm seeing auctions of common pops that are should be selling for $11 in a store, selling for like $20-30. And people are like, man, that's crazy. I don't understand it. But I think I put 2 and 2 together. People aren't going to, in certain circumstances, if the item isn't readily available online, like you can't buy it off of Amazon or you can't buy it at Walmart or any of those retailers, they may spend a little extra to get it from an auction. One, you're guaranteeing yourself condition because you're seeing it there, right? You see what it looks like. It could get damaged in shipment, but generally I would like to say and think that people are doing these auctions are going to take a little bit more care than somebody in the back room at Walmart kicking it around while they're playing, basketball with it. So I see it from that perspective, but there were items too that people are bidding on Piper, and these items they're paying $15 to $20 and they're $8.99 on Amazon. Why?
What is wrong with people? Like,
I have no idea.
Do they not know how to buy things? Like, I don't understand that at all.
And people, I don't know if it's just new people coming to collecting, Funko is starting to branch out, and I think their business strategy is with these board games and a couple of the new items that they're coming out with, a battle, whatever they're called, some Marvel characters.
The Hero Smash. I don't remember.
Hero Smash, but anyways, just their in general. What is it? In general, when they're trying to get a new audience, like we saw at Toy Fair this year, they're going for the little rubber toys, the candy toys, board games, completely expanding that to include more. That's just getting people hooked. And then they're like, oh, what else does Funko make? And sell their products. I get that strategy. It's just, I haven't seen anything really good until recently with some of the newer products that they're announcing and releasing.
Are you talking about the booger toys? Because those are pretty fun. I have not seen those I haven't seen them in the store. It's like a nose, and you got to pick the nose, and there's a toy inside each nose hole.
My name is Booger Toy. I live in Boogerland.
It's James Boogerton, and I like his toy nose.
Oh, really?
No, that's not his name. I just made that up just now. But no, the Marvel game you're talking about is Marvel Battle World: Mystery of the Thanos Stones. It's a battle ball.
I really like that. I mean, but it's something new, right? And to their defense, it doesn't look that bad.
No, they're really cool. They remind me of I guess like late 90s. There was a lot of like micro toys that came out. Like the beans. Do you remember those? They were like battle beans or something like that.
Yeah.
Like those, and then you had like the tech deck, like mini skateboards and stuff like that. Like each one of these like balls, the battle ball that you buy, it has like 6 little minifigures in it. But I like the fact that it's actually a board game. So you got a collectible thing and then a board game. Sounds like somebody stole my idea.
Yeah, yeah. But they are also bringing new people in with these items.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You're getting a lot of new collectors. And one of the things that I was thinking about this week, because one of the recent Funko Shop releases was the Care Bear in the Cloud Car, and just how mostly in general, the 10-inch Skeletor that came out, I mean, it's lighting it up. A lot of the recent sales, even the Cloud Car Care Bear, it sold out, right? But it just makes you think, just in different product lines, right? Anything that people come up with these ideas, and we always call it, Janitor Jim or whatever, like, hey, I got this great idea. I honestly think the Care Bears were just like one of those stories where Mary Shelley and all those people locked themselves on an island and just did heroin for a weekend. It's like, we got these bears, right? These bears, they live in the clouds, man. They live in the clouds, and the bears, they just care, man. They just care.
And they shoot rainbows out of their bellies.
It's like an acid trip. And I'm like, but how do they travel, man? Well, you know what? These bears, they have cloud cars, man, because they live in the clouds.
It's the most hippie thing ever.
It's like, but how do bears live in clouds? They just do, man, because they care so much. They're lighter than air, bro. So
just trust me.
Live in the clouds.
So, you know what? I'm a little disappointed in this because I didn't buy it, because I was like, oh, dude, this is going to be on the shop forever. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll wait till it drops in price. And they sold out. And now my Care Bear collection is not complete. And yes, I had a full Care Bear collection, all of them, every single one. And now I don't.
I don't even know the physics of a cloud car. I'm still stuck on that. It's like,
it's
the cloud,
it's
cumulo
drive bus.
Cumulo drive cloud. Oh my goodness!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people.
It is what it is, right? That's what this is. All in the values. It's bears and clouds and caring and people selling things for exorbitant amounts of money. It's just like, what are you doing? I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Hey, it's good for the secondary market right now, and if Funko, like they said, they're going to cut product lines, they sure fooled the hell out of me, because it doesn't look like they slowed down at all.
Well, that just gives you an idea of how much they had in reserve waiting in the wings, that they were able to cut it. And we still got this much stuff coming out. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, exactly. What does it look like when we come out of this? But I don't think that Funko's overall bad, even though they're laying off tons of people, I still think they're making good sales on things. I do have one problem, and we'll wrap up the Funko piece of this, but I think that their website, they've really turned into like a Nike now, right? So
Yeah.
I compare this, like Nike produces their shoes, also sends them to third-party vendors, and then they also sell their own product on their website. And I think with the recent update of the Funko website, they've just basically turned it into a store.
Oh yeah, it just looks like an e-commerce shop now. It like before it was a corporate, this is our business. Here's our landing page. You can't even find their blog anymore. It's not linked.
It's at the bottom. It's at the bottom.
They like hid it. So I mean, I knew I had to go and because I was checking to see if Funko had released anything for San Diego Comic-Con like the other day, because I was like, I haven't heard anything, and they hadn't. But I couldn't find the blog, so I was just like, I knew what the URL was, so I just typed it in. I got there, and I was like, that's so strange, man. Like, why would you do that? Like, yeah, that's your main like source of like getting information out there. I mean, I guess they have stuff on their homepage, but on the homepage, everything is just like, here's a sale on these things and a sale on these guys, and get a pair of sunglasses if you buy this hat. And I'm like, I don't care about any of this stuff. I want information.
The store itself is something that's, I don't know if it's uncomfortable for me, but maybe it's a necessary shift. But I would ask, and this is the question that I've heard a couple times, is do we think that they created the store as sort of a front to get rid of their marketing team, and they've just focused on sales from that perspective? And I'm not taking a slight at the marketing team, but if you look back at some of their Funko videos, they're not getting a lot of hits, as you would expect, right? So maybe it's just a whole shift in their marketing strategy.
Most likely. I mean, if you look at the main force, it was Instagram and Twitter, live streams, and blog posts. Like that was the core of what they were, at least visibly to us. That's what they were doing. So maybe that's very plausible that they're going to take that switch and be like, okay, we're going to be more a sales centric platform as opposed to a distributor platform kind of approach, which, I mean, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But to me, I'm not a fan of that, honestly. I'm like, I was okay with them. They, yes, I like shop exclusives. Those are great. But when you're focusing on selling all of your product and then distributing it to other places, it just doesn't make sense. And plus, I like the very personal approach that they had with doing things like the live streams and giveaways all the time, which that's slowed down a ton. And, all this other stuff. It was really enjoyable. And now it's kind of like, it's definitely a very corporate big business sort of switch.
One of the things that surprised me the most is sort of it was almost like a slice, right? They took a knife and just sliced that piece of their business off. And one thing that we can speak of, Piper and I, when it comes to quote unquote marketing or whatever along the lines of pushing a podcast or a product, people don't really care about everyday news and engagement in collectibles. They care about leaks. They consume that data. And there are people, I'm not going to mention the certain mechanisms that get these leaks, but I haven't seen a lot of leaks lately. Have you noticed that, Piper? So apparently within that layoff structure, someone got axed that was leaking information. And I think that was detrimental to their marketing team, because what are they going to reveal if they go, okay, we're going to reveal a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive? Yeah, me as a collector who loves it, right? I'm going to tune in and look at it and see what it looks like out of box, because the little Jello skeleton angry man from Dungeons and Dragons, I really wanted to see it. It got leaked, but still I wanted to see what it looked like. So seeing that was helpful. Mm-hmm. However, if you're somebody that just wants to resell something, and that, don't get me wrong, that makes up a large portion of the people that buy Funko's products, you're not going to tune in for that.
No, you don't care about it.
It's gone, because somebody leaked it. And I challenge that to the overall marketplace. Now look to the audience, look and see if we see leaks. Look and see if there's one of these guys come out and say, oh, here, because you haven't heard, we were supposed to get San Diego Comic-Con announcements this week. And it, to me, I would think that, okay, well, this person, he or she knows already what these things are. We're going to see them even sooner. Wasn't the case this time for San Diego. And there are exclusives out there. So I think something has happened. Do you agree?
I mean, it's very likely. Funko had 700 plus people that work there, and they got rid of 250 of them. So chances are you got rid of that mole, which at that perspective, I've said it over and over and over again. I hate the leaks. I honestly do. I think that it takes so much out of the fun part of collecting when, okay, what was it? A couple months ago, a list was leaked of everything that was going to be at San Diego Comic-Con or was supposed to be. Obviously, some of that stuff is going to change, but that stuff pisses me off. Like, I accidentally saw it. And so I was just like, oh, this sucks because I don't want to see this. I want to wait until the announcements come. That's one of the kind of highlights of the convention season is, Emerald City, New York, San Diego, whenever that's coming up, Funko, for like 3 days, 4 days, they'll dribble little bits to us, and those little dribbles make me super excited. And that was basically gone for the past at least year, because really all the like super heavy leaks have been about a year is how long they've been in like full effect. And now, yeah, I agree with you. It seems like maybe that entity is no longer in the company, so they can't leak anything, and they just cut off all those guys that's their whole bread and butter, is just like, oh, look at all this advanced information I have, it's magical. I was like a wizard.
Yeah, sounds about right. But again, when somebody comes out with a list, I don't trust that list when it's compared to somebody coming out with images.
Yeah,
and
true.
I would say from a design perspective, let's say you're Reese or you're another one of the design leaders within Funko, and you spend all this time on designs and you put all this effort into creating something, and you want to see it released when you're ready for it, right? And then you see some guys freaking Facebook or Twitter, whatever handle on there with a watermark. Like, look at what's coming out, guys. Look at me. I know everything.
It's always nice to see somebody watermarking an image that they have zero right to.
Exactly. That's what's always funny. Like, let's
bro,
put our watermark on it. And what we've put our watermark on things too. Don't get it wrong. But those are typically pictures that we've taken of items that we've seen. So people can't then take our pictures. They're taking actual,
which has happened,
Funko images. Yeah, it's happened numerous amounts of times.
We will be, people will give us photos, people on the inside, not at Funko, but like at retailers, and we'll get them that information early, and so we want to get it out to people. And it's not spoilers. It's always stuff like people know something's coming out, but like, oh, here's what it looks like in person. Well,
yeah, it's just stuff that we put out was never a leak.
No,
it was
because we don't
specific things that have been released, but you're just getting a look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't agree with putting information out there that's not verified. Like, you will almost never see that on our Instagram or our Facebook page. I like to make sure that everything that goes out is stuff that has been verified.
Yeah, agreed. And I put that out to the larger audience too. Just make sure that you're looking at verified stuff. If you're a fan of leaks, that's fine. I don't fault you for that, because if you want to get it as early as you can, that's okay. I kind of like the Funko releases and how they put them out over a couple days, because then you got to verify which retailers were going to hold items and sell them, and it all comes out at once. Before that, it's just like Twitter news now. It's like, I saw a dog bite a person in the park, and that's all you know, right? Then you're just like, well, the person actually, before they started filming them, hit the dog in the head with a stick. There's more context, and they're just releasing things. They don't know where the retailers are. And then people start saying, oh, I heard that was Amazon. And then people start putting in the Amazon box and like, oh, no, wait, it's Walmart. And so you get confused. So having it from the source was always a good thing. And I think that we're going to lose some of that. It's a new world with Funko. We'll see how that pans out. But again, Funko price is going up. Like we always said, this is the Funko price holiday, folks. It is from March to July. So this is a Funko Price holiday with COVID-19. This could last until winter. And Todd will be complaining about Christmas present prices. So, but yeah, I mean, that's sort of where we are with Funko. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on that, Piper?
No, that's it.
Good.
I think.
Moving on
This is good for me.
basketball cards. I want to sum this up because I think this is a funny story. We always love collector stories. So this is a good thing. And Raul and myself, we're going to do a snack attack on the sports ball because we're both avid card collectors. So look for that in the near future. Raul, shout out to Raul on the podcast, doing lots of shout outs this week. But with that being said, Flipper Grandma has crossed.
No.
Yes, over to the card game, bro. She has crossed over to the card game.
Well, see, we haven't mentioned Flipper Grandma, so any new listeners have no idea who we're talking about.
So if you know anything about the Pop Collectors Alliance and all the new people that are coming on, you don't. Go back to our first episodes to get more detailed stories, but it's a long history with Flipper Grandma and me in the Fort Worth area. I'll give you a summary of the first time we ever met. It was the reason almost that I started this podcast because it was the Grady Twins release at Target. And Flipper Grandma was waiting at Target. She was at one Target and said, I'm buying this for my grandkids. And so she got the chase of the Grady Twins. And then I saw her again at another Target saying that she sold it for $400. So that's the type of personality you have with Flipper Grandma.
She garbage.
But she garbage, son. So Flipper Grandma, I did not run into her, but Noah, my son, he has been obsessed with getting cards at cost because he likes to collect cards. He wants to pay retail, and they have these retail boxes, blaster boxes, mega boxes, hanger packs, etc. That vary in price from like $9 to $40, but they resell on the market like a $20 pack right now is going for $75 for Mosaic basketball. So my son is as much as an OCD person as I am. So he wakes up and he calls every Walmart in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And when I say every Walmart in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I mean every Walmart in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's a lot of Walmarts.
It's a lot of Walmarts. So I tell him, I sit him down, I'm like, look, we're never going to be able to find these because the employees, I'm not painting with broad strokes here, but generally when you talk to Walmart employees at the front of the store, they don't really care about cards and they'll just say whatever to just get you to stop talking to them. Understood with that. He didn't understand, and he doesn't understand why people flip cards. And I was like, look, Noah, if we want to be able to get these cards, we're going to have to find out when the vendor restocks them. Guess what we did, bro? We found the vendor.
How did you just like stalk him and hunt him down?
No, it was a happenstance, bro. We went to pick up other food early in the morning to grab a gallon of milk. We weren't even there for cards. And then we see the person stocking the cards. And we're like, oh no, we done hit the jackpot. So we go over and we talk to the vendor, and there's baseball cards there. And we bought a bunch of them. And there was another guy there, and he's like, man, you're going to buy all of them? And I'm like, no, man, you can have some. And then he bought all of the rest. So, so I found out the schedule of the vendor. Oh. However, this is where I find out Flipper Grandma has joined the card game. So I go, I introduce myself. I say, my son's really looking for things. We want to be able to buy these. We don't know what the schedule is, and Walmart won't tell us. And then she proceeds to tell me every stop in her schedule every day of the week. And then she goes, well, you might have some competition on the basketball side of things. And I go, oh, really? She's like, yeah, there's an old lady and her son. They pretty much hang out on my route and on a friend's route and they've been buying all of our basketball cards as we put them on the shelves. And I go,
oh my God.
Well, how many basketball cards do you have today? And she goes, every single card, dude. She had 4 boxes of cards. That is 10. That's 10. I'm trying to think, 10 of the blaster boxes and 5 hanger packs or something like that. she bought all 4 boxes. So that's like 40 40 blaster boxes.
That's a lot of money.
$75. Yeah. And I go, man, I collect Funko stuff too. And there's a lady that does that with her son. And I said the lady's name and she goes, oh yeah, that's her. I was like, oh no. I was like, she's a little old lady. And she's like, yeah, that's it. That's her and her son. And I go, uh-oh. So Flipper Grandma is in the card game now.
Hey, you need to ask that lady if she can get some Hidden Fates, some Pokemon Hidden Fates cards, because
it's called Hidden Fate or Face.
Fates.
Okay.
Yeah,
those are selling for crazy amounts.
Yeah, they came out last year, but yeah, they're restocking them at Walmart and Target right now. So I don't know if the vendor got some or what's going on, but yes, they are. There's some, and I play Pokemon. That's why I want it, because I legit I need these. So get them.
Yeah. It is definitely hard to find a lot of stuff out there, from swimming pools to trampolines to everything that everyone can flip. And that is talking Smish. That's what we're all about. We're talking that Smish. This is the things that are happening in the collector community. If you want to hear more talk of that Smish in the future, I'm sure we'll do additional episodes, but we kind of wanted to lay the current events out for today over 3 episodes. We've done that. And now to some really good news and announcements for future podcasts and sort of structural changes. And one thing is for certain with this podcast that we can guarantee that we've always been is inconsistent.
Always.
We are 100% of the time. We are inconsistent every time. That is a truth and a fact. But we've recently brought on some individuals that are going to help us. And Piper's going to explain to you some of the website things. I want to take the podcast first, but he's going to break down some of the awesome changes. And I will say this. Piper has been working his ass off. That's PG-13, so we can pass it, but has been working hard at getting this website to the next level, and he's taken it there. And I'll let him talk about that here in a minute, but I can just say thank you. And I've heard compliments on it, and even my wife was sitting there talking like, what? That's crazy. So if you haven't gone to the website, check it out. But on the podcast end, what I can say is that more frequency in podcasts and more Patreon exclusive content is coming out. You can expect to see a lot more of what we call if you haven't listened to the last podcast on the left, you need to do so yesterday, but they do a thing called side stories, creepypasta, where they do these things. Our version of that, we've always called that snack attacks. So you can expect more snack attacks outside of the box things that aren't typically on our normal topics that we can collect, that we talk about each week. And then for our podcast, we will stick to weekly episodes and frequency. We do have teams of people that are going to be helping us out on the writing end of that. So that's going to be a great thing. And then some of the Patreon exclusive content that we're going to release, we hope to be able to release a Patreon exclusive episode weekly. And that may be a snack attack, or it may be an interview or something like that to benefit that. And one of the things we want to do for patrons, since you guys have supported us so long, let's say we interview somebody that makes a collectible. We're going to do a full, let's say, hour-long interview with them, and we're going to cut that down and put it into an episode, but we're going to leave some of that exclusive content for our patrons only. Some of the questions that are sort of off the cuff that you get into these interviews, so you're not asking these guys the same questions over and over again. One thing I think that we do a great job of and have done on this podcast is interviews, and we want to do more of those. And everything is tying to the podcast now. So we're heavily focusing on upgrading our content. If you guys, I would even ask our audience, if you know anybody that's into sound production and can cut, intros and different segments for scenes that want to help out and work with us, you can reach out to us. You can email us info@popcollectorsalliance.com, or you can find us in our group or anywhere in social media at Pop Alliance Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and message us and let us know, because that's what we're really focusing on with the podcast. And I think it's going to be really good in the future to have team members come on and help us. I will announce their names later. I don't know if they want to be brought up on this podcast, but a special thanks to them for helping us out. And then I'll turn it over to Piper for website updates and what Patreon is going to look like.
Yee, the internet. Okay. So we've always had a website. It's always been kind of lacking. So I took it upon myself, and I've been working on this for like a good solid like 2 months, nonstop. Like every day I've been doing stuff on it. And so we've kind of revamped it, restructured it. It looks way prettier now, so much easier to read. We cut down on stuff. And the big thing is now there's a lot of exclusive content on the website that is dedicated to just patrons. So a couple of really cool things is when you go to the website, if you're a patron, you can log in and it's going to unlock a bunch of things. One of the things is you won't see any ads on the website, which some people care about that, some people don't, but all the ads disappear once you're a patron. So that's really cool. The next thing is we now have our wall of awesome, which we had talked about. Oh, we're going to do this wall of awesome. So everybody that's a patron, you can go there and you can see who all backs us. And it's like one of our ways of saying thank you to all these people. That is now up and live. Everybody can see that, but it is there now. But the really big aspect of this is our Patreon dashboard that we've built on the website. So within that, we have things like a list of upcoming releases that are coming out. We have placeholders, we have DPCI numbers for Target, we have SKUs for Walmart, and we also have a upcoming running list of big collectibles that are dropping, where they're dropping at, what time, how much they're going to cost, link to the website, and then also the ability for you to do one little click and set up a reminder in Google Calendar. So it's all kind of nice and enclosed there. We're going to be doing other things, like we're going to have Patreon only giveaways that are on the website. We are going to have a mystery mini database, which we built previously, and it is just not back up and live yet. But if you are a mystery mini fan, you'll be able to go on there and look up all the weights for everything that we have been able to acquire. We also have a Patreon only shop, which that's a really big thing. I think I'm most excited about that. So the main focus of it's going to be, there's going to be merch that we're going to have that we've made exclusive to patrons only. And we are going to have some items that are going to be thrown up there as well. Things that we can acquire extra. We will make those available to our patrons. I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. We're still kind of ironing all that stuff out, but it is there. It is exclusive to patrons, and I am super ecstatic about it.
Yeah, man. And I can tell you it's a great job that you've done. And I mean, it just blew me away. Just the changes alone without all of this added stuff. And there's more stuff that we're not even mentioning here that we're working on in the background. So there's more to come on this. And Piper, I mean, has rolled his sleeves up and gotten so much stuff done in a short amount of time. So it's really been incredible to watch and see all of this stuff come to fruition. I get a message from him almost daily. He's like, look what I did. Look at this, check this out. And it's just like, damn, man, it looks good. So great job, Piper, on that. And I think one of the things that we're trying to do is add value. And I think he's done an amazing job on that. So give him a shout out. And then also check out the new website, as always, popcollectorsalliance.com, and let us know what you think there. I think that pretty much sums up where we're going to be. I do maybe one thing that we'll add, and this is something that we talked about last week, but we have a vaulted list now. So I have an accurate and updated vaulted list, and I think it's something that Piper can take a look at, and maybe that's eventually incorporated into some of the patron only content that we put out there. But yes, more to come on the website. So much great stuff out there with the podcast and everything that's going on at the Pop Collectors Alliance now. Any suggestions or things that you would like us to cover on episodes, hit us up on social media. I would prefer you email us directly, info@popcollectorsalliance.com. We want to hear collector stories. We have a story from Caleb in our group that he's written us. We're going to put in there, and we'd like to do more of that content creation. If you have a great Flipper Grandma story, or a great, hey, I was at Target and someone tried to beat me up for a pop or basketball card story, just let us know. Email us again, info@popcollectorsalliance.com. And as we always say on the Pop Collectors Alliance, if you want to help us out, the biggest thing that you can do is rate and review the podcast. And this isn't even exclusive to Apple podcasts. This is across the board. Google Play Music, they're about to change their whole format. So rating us on these platforms, and we're across all of them, helps us out. So if it's Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star, anything less and you hate our guts. And if you have time, give us a review. It does a great deal in putting the word out about what the Pop Collectors Alliance has to offer. And we really need to be in first place now because it's us and a couple podcasts talking pops. What up, guys? But we need to be in first place. No offense. We need to be in first place.
We are close.
So congratulations to our group. We crossed 1,000 members. We did a giveaway. We're going to run another giveaway. And this doesn't change. We're still going to do giveaways and things along those lines. Just expect more from that. And you can expect to see the first podcast. I don't know if we're going to do one next week. We're going to try to, but the new rollout of the schedule and this content calendar the week after the 4th of July. So that's when we hit the ground running. We're going to celebrate a big anniversary coming up for the podcast. Been a long time that we've been doing this. So special things to come. And we are going to push to get to episode 100 before December this year. I think we can do it. And with your help, it's going to be incredible. So until next time, I'm Rick.
I'm Piper.
Good night.
And become a patron right now.
I love you.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.